Hey guys, Kev here, and I have 5 rapid reviews to do for you. Now, I can't remember which knives I talked about and in what order. It's always hard to remember that kind of stuff. It's been a while since I filmed the videos on these. So I apologize if some of these are kind of duplicated from previous videos, but it is what it is. So I have 5 knives here that I recently reviewed that I really like. Yeah, so I'll just kick it off with the first one is the Real Steel Sylph. I really enjoyed this knife. Surprisingly, I love this knife way more than I expected to. When I first saw it, I thought it looked cool and everything, but I wasn't positive what was, what I was expecting, because I saw the design, and the only time I've seen this kind of wraparound steel frame is from James brand on the Redstone, and I absolutely hate that. I think it's a piece of junk. But this one feels quality. This one's like $50-something. Like, it's impressive how good this knife is for the price, I think. I will link everything in this video down below. I do have an affiliate link with Real Steel. Now, I want to give you guys a little caveat here. I have a discount code that they gave me, and they told me that it would give you guys $15 off of the knives that I've shown from their brand. So all the Real Steels you've seen in videos, I was told, unless I misinterpreted, that the code LeftyEDC, I think it is, would give you $15 off on their website for those specific knives. Now, when I posted this video on the Sylph and the ones on the Lux series, people were telling me the code wasn't working. And I have not been able to get a hold of my contact at Real Steel. I got an automatic reply that they were on vacation until June 5th, which is coming up. So I'm hoping that once they get back, I will get answers, and hopefully they will add the discount code to the site for these knives, okay? If you bought one in the meantime, unless I was wrong about the code, hopefully you can reach out to them and get some kind of refund or something, because it's unfortunate that they told me about the discount and then I told you guys and then it didn't work. So I promise you, I've asked them about it. I've emailed multiple times. I've tried to get a hold of somebody else, but with no luck. So I'm hoping it gets resolved when that person gets back on the 5th of June. Until then, I can't say the code is going to work anymore. I hope it does. It exists. But, yeah, I will link the knives. And if, I'll let you know if anything weird happens from that conversation. Obviously, then we'll have to act accordingly. But for now, I love this knife. I think it's fantastic. And honestly, I think it's like 50 or 60 bucks retail. I think it's worth every penny. Yeah, $15 off is always awesome, of course. And I hate that I said it and then it didn't work. That really pisses me off, honestly. So, but I think it's worth the retail price anyway. But I know that's not really, it doesn't help. But anyway, it's a Nitro V. It's a Poltergeist Works design. It's excellent. It really is. I highly recommend you guys check this one out somehow if you can. It's got this really cool clip design where this little piece notches in down there, and then the screw holds it in. So it has basically 2 points of contact, but 1 screw. Reversible clip. This steel is just, it's stainless steel, but it's just a beautiful finish on it. And then you have the black coating everywhere else. And the D10 is just perfect. It's so good. Yeah, Real Steel crushed it on the Sylph. So highly recommend this one. And yeah, hopefully we can get that discount code stuff sorted out in a little bit. So I do apologize for that. I know that was pissing some of you guys off. The next one here is a concept. This is a dock design. And this is called the Prometheus. I don't know if you can tell, but I've used this one a lot. I've actually used all of these quite a bit. I've carried each of these for a few days or a week. And and I've really enjoyed them. I cleaned up most of them. This one is just recently, like today, was in my pocket, and obviously I cut open some boxes, you know, heavy duty work. But I really enjoy the Prometheus. It's got this really nice sort of like twill forged sort of carbon fiber scale that I think just gives it such a good feel in the hand, weight, and it just makes it feel quality. It does. I love how lightweight this is. It's got that faux inlay, the golden bronzish hardware, great flipper tab. Great ergonomics. You can just choke up onto that flipper tab. I've had no issue doing that and cutting with it. Nice little poon spoon here to get your thumb in. Nice amount of blade. You got that kind of spear foot kind of blade shape, sheep's foot kind of blade shape. I love the rounded nature to it. It's really good design. This is the guy who designed the October from Kaiser. And yeah, this one's like a sleeper for me of one of the best knives this year. I just really enjoy it. The clip works great. The action is excellent when you don't botch it like that. The detent is perfect. Just a fantastic knife all around. The Prometheus from Concept. Again, I'll link it down below. If you guys use my links, it does help the channel, but totally up to you guys, of course. Nice collars. I do wish they would get away from T6s, but other than that, it's really good. I also wish they did belt satins, and now I'm kind of remembering I already did this before. I think I talked about this knife in a previous video. The next one is the Kraken from Piratetech Knives. I did a video disassembling this and swapping the scales and everything on it because they were kind enough to send me a new Kraken and send me these crystallized titanium scales. These are the blue ones, Piratetech blue. And this has a S90V blade at 61 point something HRC. I think it's sharp as hail. S90V blade feels great. I love the clip. It just looks nice. A lot of people, when you show this knife off, I don't know what it is, but people are like, that's a Sebenza mixed with a 940. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, that would be sick, wouldn't it? I don't know why people get so up in arms. I had somebody on one of my Divo videos. I recently showed you guys our Divo Chaser prototypes. And I had this guy the other day. He goes, wow, that's such a clone of a Vosteed raccoon. And I literally just was like, what? I mean, to me, I would have never even thought of the raccoon, you know? But this guy was adamant that we copied the raccoon. It was pretty funny. Anyway, so, yeah, sure, it's got a little bit of Sebenza and a little bit of 940, but it's also very unique as well. Like, I don't think it's copying anything or whatever. So you know, the looks like this game is not for me. Anyway, this is a fantastic knife. The only things I'd say about it is, you know, you want to be, you don't want to take the scales on and off a million times because you will eventually wear parts and then they'll be a little bit loose. Like right now, they're super tight on here, which is cool. But the one that I passed around, the original one, has been taken apart so many times because everybody who gets it to review it wants to take the scales off to test it, which is good. That's why we have, you know, pass-around knives. But that one, you can kind of like rock the scales a little bit when they're on because they've worn a little bit inside where they've been slapped on and off so many times. So I would just say, you know, it's cool and you should do it, but don't just sit there fidgeting with it, taking the scales on and off. I also wish that they stuck with the original studs. I'm not the biggest fan of these. They kind of have this domed look, and I slip over them a lot. But I've gotten used to them, and they're good. The ergos are fantastic, and the blade is just phenomenal. So it's a really good cutter. I normally don't like spring locks. I'm not a big crossbar lock guy. That still holds true, but they did a good job with this. The springs feel good. And, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much as it usually does. So, I really like it. That's the Kraken, and these blue crystallized titanium scales are now available on their website. They dropped on the 1st of June, which this video should post right around then. And I do have a link, and I have a code for free shipping. So if you want to get free shipping on scales or a Kraken, you can use that. I think it's just LeftyEDC. And there's a link there as well if you want to just get over to the website that way. Your call. Anyway, I really like it. One other thing I want to note is when I did the swap, I noticed the filler tab here was rattling. So it had a little bit too much space in there, or something was going on. So I would kind of flick the knife or whatever, and I would hear kind of like a rattle sound. It was, have you ever had like a stop pin that's floating a little too much and it rattles? Or yeah, a stop pin usually is the thing that happens to. And what I'll always do is just put some Loctite on either side of the stop pin, and then I'll stop it. Well, that's essentially what I did. I just put Loctite on all of the parts that contacted in there, and then I left it overnight like that, and it has completely taken care of the issue. So that Loctite just took up the space that was left, and now it doesn't rattle. It sounds 100 times better without that little bit of rattle. The original one I had didn't do that, so it could just be, you know, an anomaly on this one. But I want to mention it in case anybody else has that issue. You can just use Loctite and it fixes it up. So that's the Kraken from Piratetech Knives. Very, very cool. And yeah, the next one is another real steel. And this is the Solace Luxe. This is another Poltergeist Design Works, another one I've used quite a bit. I carried this one for a while as a backup knife, and it's really a pleasure to carry this knife. I actually like the whole series. You'll see the other two in another rapid review coming up after this, but this one's my favorite. And it's because it's a, you know, more manageable size knife, and it's got a nice sheep's foot blade. It's just an excellent little cutter to have in your pocket, backup knife. It's in K110, which is basically D2, but it's got this beautiful coating on it. Just looks really good. And, you know, I have no problems with D2 or whatever. As long as it's coated, it's fine. It's got that European style slip joint design. That's really nice. That quarter stop, essentially. It's got a clip and backspacer made out of G10, which is really cool. There is a piece of metal that is attached like down here so that the blade is not contacting, you know, G10 only. But other than that, it's all G10 except the blade and the hardware. So just really cool and unique and different. I really have fallen in love with some of these real steels. They've done a great job with it. And again, this should have a discount code, LeftyEDC, to take $15 off. I'm going to do my best to get that sorted out as soon as possible. But once again, it's worth the retail price as well. So if you want to pick it up and then just email them and try to get the refund, assuming they're actually going to give me those discounts. But yeah, really, really good. And I like the purple G10. Just looks sick. And the last one you've seen a few times, and that is the Ramet Swordfish RT in this beautiful slip. This one has the faux toxic Chinese fat carbon. And I did a disassembly on this, so now it is actually left-handed, which is really cool. You can literally, check that video out. I also posted a short version of it on Instagram where I reassembled it, but you could switch this from right hand to left hand in less than 2 minutes. I mean, I did it in a minute and a half and posted it on Instagram, but you literally just take these screws out and then take the clip screws out, and then this whole top piece will come off. And then you just have to take 2 screws out of the blade at the bottom, and it's got this little like piece that holds it in line on the track. And you literally just, is this tappy now? Oh, I gotta fix that. You literally just flip the blade over and then screw it back in, and then you will have a left-handed gravity knife. It's really cool. And if you carry it in the slip like this, Well, it doesn't matter which handed it is or whatever. You just slide it in your left front pocket. It's a left-handed knife. I mean, I think that's really cool. I think these are T6s if I remember correctly. So let's take this apart and just bend that clip. I'll show you how I adjust clips usually. We'll see if this works on this knife. I usually just reverse them. So we have 2 screws, so it should work. Just turn it this way and remount it. Now that one screw I think is longer, so I don't know if that's gonna work as well. Yeah, it's not gonna work as well. So I just have to switch the screws. Honestly, I could probably bend it by hand, but I wanna show you my technique here. So this screw goes in there. And then the shorter one goes in. I think they're actually different thread diameters, but not positive. So you basically just mount it like normal. You want to make sure you get the screws tight enough so they don't just pop out. And then you can bend it with tension here. You have leverage now because of this. So just do that. I went really far. That is a soft clip. Wow. All right, so I bent it a little too far, but it's okay. And then take the screws out. I just bent it back. You can always bend it back. Now, what I would say is just go baby steps. Like I was talking, so I just kind of bent it and I went too far, but it's okay. You'll see here. So now we mount it back. It always depends on how much ramp there is. If there's a good amount of ramp, then the clip could be tight and it won't matter. So there we go. Yeah, it actually looks good. Let me test it. And I went, let's see. I might have went a little tight. I could probably just, oh yeah, I definitely went tight. Okay. So let's redo that. And I'm going to bend it by hand this time. So it all depends on the clip. This clip is like literally spongy. So you could just, well, actually, that's not bending that easy. Just, I had a ton of leverage, I guess. And then it's just a game of testing it. Like sometimes it sucks. You got to put it together, take it apart a million times. But I'd rather do that than, you know, overdo it or underdo it. Literally what I did, but whatever. Let's see if that's better. Yep. Now it's perfect. So now I got to straighten it out. I didn't realize it could shift. So you want it lined up with that. I would anyway, lined up with this little arrow right here. I want those to point at each other like that. Yep. And then see if you can tighten it more. Nope. Nope. So it just has a little bit of wiggle room, I guess. Anyway, that's how you adjust a clip. Usually, sometimes it doesn't work, but usually I can figure out a way to mount it backwards. But yeah, I really like this. It's my favorite gravity knife. They just did such a good job with it. I mean, when you hold it like this, it's locked down. Like there is no up and down play, and there's not even any side to side. If I'm not holding it, there's a little bit of side to side, no up and down. I mean, it's a freaking bank vault, which is totally different than other gravity knives I've tried. And it's fun to fidget with, obviously. But it's actually a good knife. It's got a good blade profile, and like it has good edge geometry. It's not just that was like 4 pieces of paper folded up, by the way. It's not just a sharpened pry bar like most gravity knives. You know I'm talking about the XO. They do have that utility knife one now that looks cool. I haven't tried it, but the regular ones are literally just toys. They might as well just put a dull blade in there because it doesn't cut shit. This cuts really well. It's comfortable in the hand. the way they designed it, where your fingers touch like right here, you're gripping here and here, it just makes sense and it works and it's really good. Now they just need to add a little lock. And I think the way they do that is they make it so you push this button down, right? So you close it and then you push down and it clicks one more time and that locks it in place. And then you open it, right? And then you click down and it locks it back in place. And then you always have to push up harder so you hear the click and then you can close it. So you can still close it with one motion like this. You can still open it with one motion like this, but you'd have to push a lot harder to break through the lock. I think that would work and be cool, but just my thoughts. Anyway, that's the Swordfish RT, and I really like this knife. So there you go, guys. That's 5 rapid reviews of knives I've really enjoyed in the last couple weeks that have come through. You have the Real Steel Solace Lux, the Concept, oh my God, what is it called? Prometheus. You have the Real Steel Sylph, the Piratetech Kraken, and you have the Romette Swordfish RT. Let me know what you guys think. Again, links down below to all these. I do have a 5% code, LeftyEDC, for Romette. That'll work on any of their knives across the board on their website, LeftyEDC. And I love you guys. Thanks for checking the video out. I hope you guys are having an absolutely wonderful day, and I will catch you later.